Well, it looks like the Vanderpump Rules producers are already making plans to replace Ariana, but who are they going to replace her with? Lala? What? We also have Vicki Gunvalson, who's opening up about Brandi Glanville's tweet, basically outing Caroline Manzo by calling her an old liar and a closeted lesbian. And let's be honest, there's a lot we're going to get into today, so let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zach Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up? What's going on? Welcome on in. What's up, everybody in the club? In the club, we all fam. In the club, we all fam. You know, I go on like those tangents. There was one that I saw. I was scrolling through TikTok today, and I saw Vinny from what was it, Jersey Shore, and he was dancing to some song, which was what was the song? It was really funny. It was like Kamala at a Vinny. Oh, here we go. It was funny. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce, 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 Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce. I'm not even that big of a Beyonce fan, but I like this jam. What's up, guys? Happy what's today? Tuesday. Whew, I need a little more coffee. I feel like I need Joe said based on last night's Instagram reels, is Zach Peter in his sports jock era? Okay, first of all, they weren't reels; they were Instagram stories. Joe, we'll get into all the drama. I love it when he sings. Thank you, Jen. My Instagram stories last night because everybody was living for them, and I didn't even realize. Like, I wasn't even trying to like be funny or anything. So I was watching the Rhony reboot. Which, listen, I'm sorry. There are people that are out there that are like, "Oh my god, I love it. It's so good. It's so refreshing." I'm like, sorry, you have such low expectations and bad taste, but the Rhony reboot is awful. It's awful. So much so that I didn't even finish watching the episode. I ditched the Rhony reboot to go watch the Dodger game. Never in my life would have I thought about that. But yeah, I ditched the Rhony reboot and I was watching the Dodger game and I was like, well, let's just kind of watch it. And then I'm watching, I'm like, wow. I was having a little wine. I was like, wow, this picture's kind of cute. Wow, Dodgers are winning. I was like, wait, is this the third game or is this the fourth game? I thought it was the fourth game because I thought we had already gone through the third game, but apparently we weren't at the third game. We were at the fourth game and the Dodgers have won the first three games and now we have the fourth game that's coming up. Okay. It was actually so I was thoroughly invested in the Dodger game. I'm a Dodgers fan, born and raised in LA, so Dodgers through and through. Sorry, not going to be a Yankees fan. It just ain't going to happen. But two things that I really learned. One, I love drinking, and two, I love shit talking. And that's all sports is. I was like, hell yeah. I was on my stories being like, Yankees are losers. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but you're losing. Trust me, anybody that's ever played any board games, trivia, any like I'm very competitive, very competitive. So much so that my run group, they all went on WhatsApp and they were talking about my Instagram stories, and I was like, well, sucks to suck. 'Cause I I'm on the winning team, which is the Dodgers team. And never in my life would I have thought that the Dodger game would be way more interesting than Rhony, but yeah, truly. Like that. I keep trying. Shan says, I agree. I think the reboot sucks. It does, Jen says. Um, that's my clue not to watch it. Oh, the game because of the Yankees. Yeah. Donna Lynn says, I agree. I haven't watched Rhony since the OGs. Like, there's just the magic that was right on Skip. So Skip Rhony then got it. It's just, it wasn't interesting. Even Raquel, I don't know how I feel about Raquel. There's just something about her that I just am not connecting with. So even when she's telling like her sad story, which I couldn't even tell you what her sad story was about. I just knew it was a sad story because I was like physically there and like physically watching the television and being like, okay, she's telling me a sad story, but I don't connect with her. So I don't even know what her sad story is about, you know? And then Uba and Bryn are just like fine. I don't care, you know? I don't care. Sassy Southern Witch says it's not Rhony anymore. It's Borny. Yeah. And I think the biggest mistake, Laura says the music tells you if it's sad. Yeah, see, so that I think I was just kind of like letting the music, tell me, okay, I guess this is the sad scene. She looks sad, but I don't know what she's talking about because I can see that there are words that are coming out of her mouth, but for some reason they just fall flat, you know? They just do. Sarah says New York sucks. I don't know if she means the Yankees or if she means Rhony, but regardless, you're right. Oh, so there we go. I would not. I mean, part of me is like, well, we need to like let them find their footing and like maybe eventually they'll build their audience. Maybe eventually people will come over. But the thing is, we're calling it Rhony, so we have nothing to do but naturally compare it to the original Rhony. But like, how do you ever compare to the OGs, right? Mention It All, Bethany, New Beginnings, Ramona. Forever Forgiveness, Ramona. We have Luann. Chic, c'est la vie, mannequin, you class, elegance is la, darling. It's Mrs. Jealous Eps. Like just the level of delusion, like you can't find that level of delusion these days. Not even Jessel can touch that level of delusion. It's just good. The new girls on Rhony are just too self-aware, and I can't. So we need Sonia falling over, right? And Tinsley crying about something completely insignificant. Bring back our girls. Joe says it was fascinating you commenting on the baseball game and Kempire giving sports history on his chat, saying that the Dodgers originated from Brooklyn. Like, where am I? Are we about to be sports commentators? Do we see the right? That's when you know it's real bad. Were you giving sports lessons last night as I was giving Dodgers commentary? Has Bravo gotten so bad that this is what we've come to? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, we're just gonna be sports commentators. I'm gonna take over A-Rod's job. J-Lo's ex. His name isn't even A-Rod, it's J-Lo's ex. Yes, too self-aware. Yeah, they're too like into like they're too hyper aware, right? Like they don't want to look bad. They don't want to like, ruin the brand. Jenna Lyons just want to like show us her girlfriend. I'm just like, fuck off. Janet says, I think the height of the Real Housewives is over and they're not evolving with the times. Unfortunately, they're kind of falling behind. And then you have these viral moments, right? Where you have receipts, proof, timeline, everything. And then that goes viral and then it like peaks into mainstream pop culture. And then they think like, oh, we're doing something right. But then it's like, you had a moment, but like the moments, like they're fleeting? Sarah says, how many seasons do we give them? I'm over them. Rhony, Love Campire, you and him are my top. Okay. If I'm your top, then you're my bottom. Lori, where? Lori says J-Lo's ex could be 2,000 people. Okay, shady. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna rewatch the old. Yeah, rewatching the old. I was watching yesterday on loop. Homeless, not toothless. The Homeless and Toothless Foundation. I was watching that scene where they're all dressed up in the '70s gear at Lisa Rinna's event, and Kathy's like, "Oh, we're the Homeless and Toothless Foundation," and then Kyle's like, "Not homeless and toothless," and then Dorit's getting mad and she's like, and Garcelle. And Garcelle's like, what? It's not about your charity. Come on. It's not about your charity. And then Kyle's like, enough about the Homeless and Toothless Foundation. And then Chris was like, not homeless, not toothless. It's homeless, not toothless. And then Sutton's like, I think they should rename that organization. And then Kyle's like, the name is not amazing, but they do good work. And then Dorit's like, they do amazing work. And then Kathy's like, homeless, toothless, homeless, toothless. I've worked with the homeless. I've worked with the toothless, you know? So it was good. Pamela says, are you saying that Jenny has been around the block? Listen, she said it. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny who's been around the block. But yeah, homeless, not toothless, and toothless, not homeless, and homeless, not toothless, and toothless, not homeless. I founded the Ruthless and Toothless Foundation. That's right. Ruthless and Toothless. Where did Dorit get that accent? I don't know. That I don't know. Whew. What a time to be alive, right? See, people were giving Dorit shade for these past couple of seasons of Beverly Hills, but like, let's be real. Dorit gave us a lot. She gave us the chic wind chimes. She gave us homeless, not toothless. She gave us a lot. Nikki says she's looking forward to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills coming back. I mean, I wasn't like super jazzed with that trailer. It was nice. There was a lot of like fashion in it, but like there wasn't a whole lot going on. There's clearly going to be a lot of issues between Dorit and the cast, right? Dorit and Sutton, Dorit and Kyle. We see Dorit and Kyle fighting. We see Kyle going through the crumbling of her marriage from Mauricio. We see Dorit's separation coming to light. So like there's kind of some interesting stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if this year will be as good. Um, Laura said she gave us burglary. Mm, okay. Laura's like, she was serving burglary. She was serving witness protection. Lee says, thanks for providing some chat that's not politics, Zach. It's also exhausting. Oh, why? Am I supposed to talk politics? I don't really ever talk politics. I did vote yesterday. Did you guys vote? Who do you guys think I voted for? JK, don't answer that. um, only because then you guys are gonna start fighting in the live chat, and then I'm gonna get in trouble. It's like, why did you tell them how to vote for? And I'm like, oh god, they don't want me to talk about sports. They don't want me to talk about politics. I'm like, they just want me to sit here and be a good little boy. But guess what? I've never been a good little boy. I've always been bad. I can't be tamed. I can't be tamed. Mm, mm, I can't be tamed. Okay, Vanderpump Rules. So Nick Viall has come out, and I guess I get at this point, um, I don't know how he got this information, but he was talking to one of the Vanderpump Rules producers, and he was saying that the Vanderpump Rules producers, one said that the cast has gotten way too expensive because they have to get a mandatory like a salary bump every season, and most of them are all season one OGs, right? I mean, could you imagine if they still had like Stassi and Jax and Kristen, but they still have Tom Sandoval, who's a season one OG, Sheena, who's a season one OG, and Katie, who's a season one OG. Schwartzy was like a friend of season one, but like came in later, so he still got a pretty significant salary. Ariana's been on for a long time, so she's got a pretty significant salary. Lala's been on many seasons at this point. She's got a pretty significant salary. So at this point, it kind of feels like, you know, they're getting way too expensive, which fine. Let them, fight for their money. They deserve it. That we're what, season 12 that we would be going into? We're 12 seasons deep. That at this point, let's get it, right? Um, but so not only do we have the prices that are a bit tough, then we're hearing that Lala and Ariana are holding out because they don't like their final negotiations. And apparently, the producer that Nick Viall talked to revealed that they're already planning their backup strategy, assuming that Ariana's probably not going to come back. Probably assuming that they're not going to give her whatever it is that she wants and whatever it is that she's asking for. So they're already expecting to wish her well and goodbye. But they also said that she was um, making less money doing Love Island and Broadway. I'm curious what the Broadway rate would be. I mean, I would assume she has to be making some decent money on Broadway because they brought her back, and I would assume that she would only come back for like another, like a bump, right? A bump in money. Like she has to have a good team at this point, right? It's just Chris says Ariana has the right to be upset about what Tom did, but when you are paid to do a job, you do the job, or you get fired because someone else would do the job. She should be replaced. I agree with you. I get it where people are like she has boundaries and women and I get it, right? I get it. And he's a terrible man, and we hate men, and we're in the era of like anti-men. Got it, right? But Nick Viall makes a good point. He's like, "Well, how much are they paying her?" Because if the producer is saying that she's making more money on Vanderpump Rules than she is on Love Island and playing Roxy in Chicago, she has to be making some good bank, right? I mean, she has to be making at least 15,000 an episode on Vanderpump Rules. Let's see, how many episodes? Like, let's try to do these calculations. I think a few years ago it was reported that Jax Taylor, who was one of the season 1 OGs, he was making about like 10,000. Let's see, Jax Taylor, Vanderpump Rules salary. I want to say he was making 10,000 per episode. Let me see if I can verify that. Holy guacamole. So in the later seasons, it was reported that Jax Taylor was making $25,000 per episode. And I think, how did we get this information? Wow, he also made 450,000 on Cameo? That's crazy. How do I get my Cameo money up to be that good? Okay, so Jax was earning a reported $25,000 per episode. Jax is at least 1 or 2 seasons ahead of Ariana, and she wasn't a main staple OG. So by now she's got to at least be making 25,000 per episode, right? Like Dana Wilkie, did you know? 25,000. 25,000, loser. But so anyway, the last season of Vanderpump Rules, let's look this up right now. Give me 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Season 11 was 19 episodes. So let's just say at this point, I would have predicted that for season 11, Ariana was making at least 25,000 per episode. So 25,000 times 19 is, oh, that's only 475,000. Even so, that's not bad. That's half a mil right there. She racked in at least half a mil from Vanderpump alone. Okay, let's look at Love Island US. Let's see how many episodes they did. I'm pretty sure they weren't paying her $25,000 an episode. Do we have Sarah Hyland? Salary, Love Island. Let's see if we can find that right now. Hosted the first 2 seasons of Love Island US, left because of a scheduling conflicts. That's not what I heard. How much does a Love Island host get paid? Which Love Island is this? Love Island. Who's Maya Jama? She gets paid at least 6 figures. But that's not here in the US. Okay. Okay. Love Island. The most recent season, season 3. Wow, it only brought in. Oh, wow, you guys, this is wild. So, season 3 had an average. Wow. So we were told that wait, is this real? This is Love Island US, right? Love Island, American TV series. Is this the in February 22, the series was picked up, for a 4th and 5th season on Peacock. The 4th season took place in California. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. So these are the first okay, here's seasons 5 and 6. Okay. 33 episodes. Oh, no, 33 Islanders, 30 days. How many episodes? Wow, 37 episodes for this most recent season of Love Island. We don't know what the ratings are because Peacock doesn't release that. But it looks like the ratings were already in a decline in the first 3 seasons. They went from 2.6 million viewers to 1.89 to 1.86, but that was 2019, 2020, 2021. So the most recent Peacock seasons, we don't know what those ratings were, and we're assuming that the ratings were much better. Oh, I forgot Ariel used to host it. Oh, they fired Ariel when they moved to Peacock. Got it. So it was Ariel, and it was on CBS. I remember that. I remember watching the first season. Then it moved to Peacock. Sarah Hyland only hosted for 2 seasons on Peacock, and then Ariana was the most recent. Interesting. So Ariel is still the longest standing. But so 36 episodes, I'm pretty sure instead of an episodic rate, they probably paid her like a weekly rate, and it was only a few weeks. So that would make sense. I would think Ariana probably got paid 200,000 to be on Love Island. That seems fair. Maybe even they negotiated up to 250. I could see that. Which would still be half of what she would make on The thing with Vanderpump Rules is she has a legacy contract, right? She's been on it for so long that as a veteran, her episodic rate is going to be high. And the thing with Vanderpump Rules is they always have a large number of episodes. They always have a higher number of episodes. So you're going to get paid a lot. Whereas Roxy, I'm pretty sure she wasn't making that much on Roxy. Chicago. Ariana Madix salary. Let's see. Interesting. The production earned over 939,000. Madix has a reported net worth of 2 million. She also placed third on Dancing with the Stars, where contestants make $125,000 for the rehearsal period and the first 2 weeks. Wow. That's not bad. She made minimum $125,000 on Dancing with the Stars. So she made some good money last year. She had Dancing with the Stars, she had Love Island, she had um she had everything down on lock. So if she was on Chicago for 6 weeks, that's 25,000. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And I think you get paid more if you survive another week per week. Yes, you get bonuses for you get bonuses for however long you last, and then you also get like bonuses if you're first place, second place, or third place. So she did well on Dancing with the Stars because she made it to third place. Love Island doesn't have a great viewership. I was surprised, especially considering that was on CBS. Like CBS is not a cable channel. CBS is one of the main channels that like anybody can watch CBS, and they're getting that low. Like, that was wild. I was shocked by those numbers and to see how drastically it gone down. Oh my god, that's insane. Didn't know that she had a fandom. Dedicated fans like that, damn. Dedicated fans like, "What? I survive week to week. Where's my bonus?" That's a good point, right? We are all surviving week to week. Um, so yeah, they're saying that Ariana makes the most money on Vanderpump Rules, which would technically make sense considering it's a longer contract, right? And so Nick Viall was saying like she's making what, at least 1 mil, maybe 2 mil. I mean, I would predict she's making less than 1 million. Season 12, I mean, if Jax was, I mean, at best, I can see her maybe getting paid 30,000 per episode, which let's put that number together. 30,000 per episode times 19 episodes, 570. That sounds about right. I'm pretty sure she's making about, well, I mean, Vanderpump Rules did do really well last season. They were hitting that 1 mil mark. So 500,000, not bad, doing well, living her life. Yeah. I don't know, agents, managers, taxes are all taken out of that. Yes, that is true. Very true. Trust me, nobody knows percentages like me. When you look at all the percentages and you're like, why am what am I who am I what? What in the hell? But so yeah, so Nick Viall basically made the argument of like if she's making like how much money is worth doing your job and having to face off with Tom Sandoval? Because like she avoided Tom Sandoval for a lot of last season. And so the question he brought up, which I agree, how much money is it worth to have to engage with Tom Sandoval? If they were paying, listen, even if it was 500,000, I don't want to lose my $500,000 paycheck. Number one, even if I have all these other paychecks, although you're not going to get Dancing with the Stars twice, you're not going to get Chicago Roxy Hart again. You were lucky that you even got it a second time. So you have to think about these things, right? Like these are little blips, these are little chunks. And if Vanderpump Rules goes under, then that's your future that also goes under. Love Island, I'm sure is great, but like Love Island isn't everything. And look at Sarah Hyland. Sarah Hyland successfully did Love Island for the first 2 seasons on Peacock, and then they ditched her for Ariana because Ariana was the hot new thing that year. So Ariana can be ditched from Love Island very quickly and very easily. Like I think of it from my perspective, right? In this industry myself, when you have these little paychecks, or not these little paychecks, but these little bumps in your paycheck, right? You have this one paycheck from this one project. Okay, cool. That's a little chunk. That's a pocket. You always have to think about, okay, where am I going to be in 6 months? Where am I going to be next year? How do we keep elevating and building the brand? How do we keep, getting gigs coming in? Like all that, like Vanderpump Rules is a secure paycheck. You at least know you have that for the season. You have this number of episodes. You know that you have to do the reunion. And so my thing is, it's like even if it was 500,000, like Nick Viall was saying, he's like, well, if they were paying me 2 million per season, I would absolutely have a conversation with Tom Sandoval. I agree. I completely agree with that. Even if it was the 500,000, I'm like, listen, if it's 500,000 today and we bring it back for another season, that's more than 500,000. I have to show that I'm an asset to the show. I mean, you can't go full Lisa Rinna where you get the audience to like hate you, but like you have to prove that you're an asset to the show. And as long as you're an asset to the show, they'll keep you going. And as long as you keep producing a good show, the show will keep getting picked up because the fans will continue to be interested in it, right? Ariana fumbled the ball. I said it last season. Everyone's like, "No, how dare you say that? Don't be anti-Lala." No, she fumbled the ball. Like, you have to play it smart. Like, you have to think of it from a business perspective. We have to keep the show going. Ariana was one of the most beloved stars on the show because of the fallout from Scandal. So what do? Give them Lala. Give them everything you got. Give them Ariana, right? Maybe not give them Lala, but give them Ariana. Like, go in there, be the bad bitch that you are. Call out Tom Sandoval. You know that he's the villain. You know that he's the bad guy. So you're going to get the audience to root for you regardless if you come at him. Engage, collect that paycheck, right? Earn that $2 million per season. Work your way up and get it. Danny says Sarah Hyland is obviously successful in life and career. Adore her, but she's my least favorite host across the board. Yeah, she was cute and she had some cute outfits, but I didn't think she was that great of a host. Sydney says I'm not above being bought. Hello? No, I'm not above being bought. Put the paycheck on it, right? Put it. You pay me my money and you tell me show up to lunch with Tom Sandoval. He wants to apologize to you. I'd say, okay, baby, let's go. You want to apologize to me? Here's my Angie K. Here's my scroll. Let's talk about it. Right? I just made up with somebody over the weekend. I didn't foresee that happening. I wish I would have gotten paid. I would have made up with him a lot sooner if I would have gotten paid to do it. You know, I ain't above a bag. Janet says Ariana should have set up pump rules to resolve around her after last season, but she ignored the issue instead of setting up the next paycheck. And I get why Lala was upset about that because it's like, yo, like the more you engage, the more you give. I get it. Everybody has boundaries and we want to respect our boundaries and we want to have mental health. I get it. I get it. If you want to do your mental health thing, go, go fuck a really smart rocket scientist and sail off into the sunset. Okay. But like at this point, you know, do your job. I still stand by. I said it then. I say it now. I still like Ariana as a person. I think she's great. I enjoyed my time at Something About Her. Not a big fan of Katie. Never have been. Always loved. Had a lot of respect and cared for Ariana. But seriously, girl, get your bag. Like, dude, like, come on. Ariana has been short-sighted. Vanderpump Rules was a safe, longer-term bet. Yeah, and not only that, but she also screws it up for the rest of the cast because the show doesn't continue. She held a lot of power this past season. She had a lot of power. She could have really made or broke the show. And I think she did the show more of a disservice than she gave it the advantage that I think the show could have had. You know? Nikki says, yes, presenting roles are generally very short term. Yeah. Being a host, all of that sort of stuff. No one is really on reality TV because they value their mental health. Thank you, Janet. Somebody please explain that to Rachel Leviss. Nobody's like, ooh, you know what? My mental health is in like a fragile state. So let me do reality TV. Like, no. Why are some of us assuming the Vanderpump Rules still has a lot more to go? They don't. Vanderpump Rules is on its tail end, They haven't given enough story. Like, at least with Sheena, at least she was trying to like work things out with Tom Sandoval, considering like maybe this could add some longevity to the show. Like maybe this could give something because at least there's story left to tell. But yeah. Maybe they are going to replace Ariana with Tom's new girlfriend, Victoria. I don't think that'll happen. Well, I mean, I can see Victoria joining the show, but I don't think she would be Ariana's official replacement, you know? Love the T24. It says Nick Viall is a hater. I think they should do a final season, pay them across the board, pay them the same across the board. We know that they're not friends anymore when they all turned on each other. Sure. How about a show about a kind of Delulu girl dating a rocket scientist? I'm not interested. Vanderpump Rules might be done. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. I always thought they should have ended it right after Scandival because that would have been ending on a high. Whereas now I feel like they're going to start to circle the drain. So, okay, let's talk. Oh, let's talk about Brandy and Caroline and Vicki because Vicki's now inserting herself into the mix, and it is drama. But before we do that, I want to talk about my pals at BioRay because we've officially entered the holiday season. It's the holiday season. So, with all the sugary, carby goodness that's coming our way, what's not good is the sugar rampage, especially with Halloween this week. How are we already at Halloween? It's here. But don't worry because I've got your new holiday season secret weapon, and that is BioRay. And specifically, their new teen line, Arrays, for teens who want to feel good, raised by BioRay. So my family's been taking BioRay supplements for over a decade now. BioRay formulas are the plant medicine you've been looking for. They're tasty liquid tinctures perfect for the whole family, and their new Raise line is great for helping those angsty teens. Life is Peachy drops help calm down those moods and bring on those peachy vibes. Thinking cap the thinking cap drops help with the ability to stay alert and pay attention. I personally love the thinking cap drops. I always put them in my morning tonic. All Systems Glow is a nutritious boost that can help charge those picky eaters. And Dream Machine can help your teen wind down from those noisy thoughts before bed. So, whatever you need, BioRay has you covered. Give Raise by BioRay a try today. Use code ZACK, that's ZACK, ZACK, for 10% off your next order right now at bioray.com. That's code ZACK, ZACK, at BioRay, BioRay, bioray.com right now and score that 10% off. Your teens will thank you. So go give it. Go give it a try. Whew. Ooh, distinguished guest says, speaking of holidays, please do your wine line so funny and do like stickers to put over the bottle of wine. Listen, we're working on it. I want to bring the wine line back soon. We're working on it. We're working on some new merch, and after the new merch, 2025, I'm hoping to bring back the wine. Gonna do a tour next year. Already thinking about it. So start to let me know, like, who drop some names in the live chat right now or in the comments below. Let me know who you would like to see on tour with me, which other content creators, which friends, which reality stars. Like, let me know who you want to see and where you want me to go. Right now, I'm thinking Los Angeles, somewhere on the East Coast, maybe Texas, Chicago, and then internationally, I'm thinking maybe Canada, London, Australia, maybe Melbourne. We're working it all out right now. So let's get it. Let's get it, girl. Get it, girl. Oh, Stu. Oh, Stu's been in my shows before. Donna Bolin has been in my shows before. Jolene has been in my shows before. Ryan Bailey was in my first show back in 2022. Come to Chicago. Yeah, I'm planning on Chicago for sure. Ooh. Nick Viall may have gotten the Vanderpump Rules cast tee from Katie, who worked for his media company now due to her podcast. Who works for his media company now due to. Oh, interesting. He said he got it from a what do you call it? A Vanderpump Rules producer, though. So that's where he got his tea from. Not MJ. Damn right, not MJ. Trust me, MJ. MJ ain't gonna be in any of my shows anytime soon. Oh, I love you and Andy together. Oh yeah, of course Andy has to be part. Oh, he was in my Valentine's Day show. Yeah, MJ is out. MJ is out, done. Mm-hmm. Okay, Vicki Gunvalson was on her podcast, My Soulmate, My Friend, My Podcast, something like that. Whatever the thing, My Friend, My Soulmate, My Podcast, I think is what it's called, with Christian Grace now. And they do it together. Ooh, Erica Jane, that's a good one. Kate Chastain, interesting. But you and Andy make a fantastic duo. Just saying, thank you, Sydney. I have to go tape the pop report with him shortly. But so Vicki Gunvalson came out and is addressing Brandi Glanville's tweet from No Swamp Creatures at all. Brandi Glanville's tweet about Caroline, right? Let's reread it and refresh it. That way we remember it clearly. Remember, Brandy said, "Happy Sunday fun day. It's been almost 2 years now since a lying, short-haired, closeted old lesbian ruined my life. Girl, lean into the rainbow. It's a beautiful space. When you come out, your family will finally be able to speak their own obvious truths." Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Um, so yeah, Vicky reacts on the podcast and she says that she understands why Brandy's so hurt, that Caroline, essentially hurt her reputation, hurt her career, hurt her paycheck, took away her job opportunities because Caroline made these accusations. Now, Vicki did say that Caroline was suing Brandy, and Caroline is not suing Brandy. Caroline is suing the network. So the network's the one that's fighting Caroline with this lawsuit that'll possibly get dismissed. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But Caroline, really did hurt Brandy's. But I mean, I get it where a lot of people are like, well, this is Brandy's fault. She's the one that did this to herself. She always does this to herself. Yes. But also, like, it appears the more and more we learn about Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco, like, it does seem like Caroline's allegations were not accurate. Right. Um, so that's the unfortunate part is it's like, well, it did kind of, if it wasn't an honest account of what actually happened, and Vicky's kind of backing up Brandy here by saying, listen, if the footage ever airs, Vicky said, if the footage ever airs, then Caroline Manzo is going to have a lot of explaining to do to her husband. She said, because Caroline was definitely engaging with Brandy, that Caroline was all up in it. Caroline was all about it. And then it seems she had some sort of, according to Vicky, buyer's remorse. So, which I mean, I can understand it, like when you're drinking, you're just having a good time, you're kind of just having fun and it's loosey goosey and everybody's just like, you're on vacation. It's ultimate girls trip. When she was on Jersey Housewives, it was always about the family. The kids were always there. Albert was always there. So like, I get how like maybe in this scenario, sometimes you feel a little pressure to have a little fun and just, I don't know. Lori says Caroline has kind of pointed herself into a corner, painted herself. Yeah, she has. Anaconda says, just air the effing show, Bravo. We all know. We all know. You all know. Listen to Zach's pod. Yeah. Um, Krista says they should reshoot it with the ladies who didn't get the airtime. Say what? Damn, having a third party give their account like that does kind of make me question things. But we've already like I don't understand how now people are just starting to be persuaded because like the they submitted all of the footage and audio as evidence in court. They made sure that none of it was released to the public, which to me was like, oh well, are they trying to prevent it from being released to the public um so that they can air it later and it doesn't ruin the show. I don't know. But and from what I've heard, there were still like plans on airing it, but it's just uncertain of when. They have to like settle all of the legal drama with Caroline. And it seems like Caroline is trying to drag out the legal drama as much as possible so that it doesn't actually air. But like they were already into editing, right? They were doing confessionals for it. I think the only two that didn't do confessionals were Brandy and Caroline. I wonder, I'm pretty sure if they said, Brandy, we're going to release it, Brandy would do confessionals. Caroline, I don't think will do any confessionals, and they'll just have to make it clear Caroline declined to do any confessionals. I just want this. We all want the season to air. And at this point, I don't think like there are reasons why it wouldn't, right? Like once legal stuff gets resolved, air the damn show. But Vicky was like, air it. And she's like, Vicky seems confident that like air it and then let Caroline have to deal with the reaction of what was on camera. But she said she's gonna have a lot of explaining to do to her husband, which to me tells me, listen, Phaedra has backed up Brandy, Vicky has backed up Brandy, Gretchen has backed up Brandy, Camille has backed up Brandy. Who else? Eva's never spoken about it. The other ladies all seem to be backing Brandy, which says a lot. Production backed up Brandy, saying that their investigation did not determine that Brandy violated Caroline in any way. And listen, everything was filmed. And what Gretchen Rossi said recently was like, there were 50 other people in the room when these alleged things were going down. So, I don't know. Pamela says, is Caroline a late in life lesbian? News at 11. Well, that's what Brandy said. She tweeted it. Eva was probably high the entire filming. Well, from my understanding, Eva defended Brandy during while this was all going down. Like when it came out, like Eva to production and to producers was Team Brandy. Eva's just the only one that hasn't spoken about the incident publicly. I guess neither has Alex McCord, but to be fair, Alex McCord has continued to like Brandi Glanville's posts. She's continued to comment on it. When The Traitors season 1 was nominated for an Emmy, Alex congratulated Brandy on it. So it seems like even Alex is not anti-Brandy in all of this. So Evely says, I understand, but Caroline is making everyone else pay for her inebriated mistake, especially Brandy. That's the unfortunate part. Brittany says, I wonder if one of the housewives can demand the footage because they were filmed. No, because I believe they signed the rights over. They signed their image rights and their likeness rights over to the network. So the network has full control of that. Isn't Alex a therapist? Yes. Brittany says, like you would think in a contract being filmed, you can ask for the footage. No, you're not entitled to that footage because you signed over your rights to that footage. Alexandra says we can't ignore the power dynamics of this occurring in a room with cameras and people watching. Just because something looks okay to onlookers doesn't mean we actually know what a person's experience. Yes, but we can't deny the objective reality is my point, right? Like if she's uncomfortable, I understand that. You would see footage of her maybe turning Brandy away. But like from what we're hearing, she was engaging in this behavior. She was kissing Brandy back. And Brandy even said, I think it was released that Brandy's attorney said that when she and Caroline were kissing, Caroline said, which I believe should be on mic, right? Uh I've kissed a woman before, or I've been kissed by a woman before. This is the first time I kissed back, or something like that, which also showed that like Caroline was complicit and engaged, right? Um, so yeah, there's a lot she has said, and she doesn't want it. There's a lot she has said that she doesn't want it to be aired to loose lips Caroline when smokes weed allegedly. Oh, everyone on the show actually backed yeah, everyone's backed Brandy. And they're all saying like Caroline was engaging in this. She was kissing back. She was being flirty back. So that's why it's like, well, then it's hard because then it's like you have to bring it down to like, okay, well, then what does consent mean? Like if somebody's engaging in this behavior and they're reacting to it and they're participating in it, and they're participating in it knowing it's on camera, like how do you then take it back and be like, well, I wasn't consenting? But it's like, well, if you weren't consenting, you were still engaging. So that's where, the line of consent then begins to get a little blurry. And it's like, well, then how do we then determine what that consent is? Like, I don't know. It's complicated. I'm not trying to not defend Caroline. I'm just saying the more we hear about the incident, the more it looks like Caroline, you know, is maybe the one who wasn't in the right in all of this. Krista Marie says she also doesn't want the things that she was saying. Yeah, and then there are the rumors that there were a lot of things that she was saying about Dina, and that was part of why she had kind of had some rocky starts with Brandy was because Caroline made some like unsavory allegations against Dina, and so yeah, and part of it's that Caroline doesn't want what she said about Dina out either. That's just a rumor, though. I haven't heard confirmation of that. Stacy 513 says, no matter what, Caroline can still say no at any time. Yeah, she could have said no at any time, right? And she didn't. She continued to engage in that behavior, which I think is where it gets messy, right? And that's where it becomes challenging. Alexander said, I'm just saying, as someone working in the mental health field, the reality of SA is much more nuanced. No, I agree. I'm not denying that at all. And I'm not trying to take away Caroline's experience. But from what we know and from what we've heard of what Caroline has said about this night, she said that this night triggered something from her past, right? So if something triggers you from your past, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody is actively like trying to hurt you in this moment, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be mindful and respectful of like, yes, it is very nuanced and like there are layers to it, but Brandy made a point of being like, your triggers are not my responsibility. And I agree with that. Like, we can't assume that if somebody else does something that triggers us, that that's somebody else's fault because they're not aware of that. And if, we have to live with our triggers, we have to work through our triggers and work through our past traumas. Not paid by anyone says Caroline is the one that caused the wage and distress losses to Brandy ahead and should have sued Caroline and not Brandy. I mean, yeah, and not Bravo. Yeah. Laura says, I think she's embarrassed. Samantha says, I think people want to manipulate situations so that they don't look bad for them. I think that's also true. I think that happens a lot too. And once you say that, like, it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle, right? Um, you kind of have to stand your ground. Brandy should have sued Caroline. I mean, Caroline is the one that made the defamatory allegations against her. But again, I do think that in their contracts, they're not allowed to sue each other for things that happened on the show. So, and also to be fair, I don't think Caroline's gone on record, like publicly in the media or the press or on a podcast to make these allegations against Brandy. These are just the reports that are coming out from what happened on set. So technically, Caroline's never gone on record publicly and made these defamatory claims against Brandy, which is kind of the caveat and how Caroline's getting away with not getting sued by Brandy because they're like, well, she didn't make these claims publicly. She didn't say them, you know. And also, if Caroline believes that this is what happened, then that's also hard to prove defamation because if you're proving defamation against a public figure, like you have to be able to prove that the information that you're putting out there publicly is false information and you're doing it with the intention of hurting someone else's reputation. So in this case, they would have to prove that Caroline knew that this was false and she was doing it to hurt Brandy's reputation, which I don't believe she's trying to hurt Brandy's reputation. I think she may have gotten embarrassed. She may have not wanted this information out there. No. Pamela says, triggered by her former life as a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let your freak flag fly, girl. Yeah, but she's married. She has a husband. She has like grandkids now. Like I get why she wouldn't want that information out there. Bravo blog bitch says, love that you've expressed your opinion about Rhony because it's bad. Maybe if someone with your caliber speaks up, we see some results. I mean, I don't think I have the power to get Rhony taken off the air. I mean, if Rhony does get taken off the air, we can come back to this moment and be like, well, I guess maybe I do have the power. I don't think I have the power to get Rhony canceled. But it's not great, right? Like I gave it a try. Unfortunately, the Dodger game was more compelling. I mean, it is the World Series, so you kind of got to give it that. But yeah. Evalie says, yeah, Caroline should feel like shit and she should pay her for causing her so much trouble. I hope Bravo can bring back Brandy down the road. I don't know. I think Brandy bit the hand that fed her. She tried to sue the network. She like Brandy, I think, just took it, you know, and I get it. She felt like she was backed into a corner. So she herself went on the defense. But I think Brandy coming at the network the way that she did isn't going to help her with Bravo or with any network moving forward. But again, who knows? I mean, Nene was able to make a comeback. So who knows? We shall see. You are my fire, the one desire. Mm-mm, mm, 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 mm. Femtera said she thinks Rhony will end. Yeah, I kind of agree with her. At this point, they need a different cast, the real content creators of Bravo, featuring Zack and others. I mean, listen, we were like, it was something that was in the works for sure. It was definitely something that was in the works for the last since 2022. Yeah. So I don't know if that will ever see the light of day. I was always the most optimistic about it. I was always the one that was the most hopeful about like getting everybody to like, all right, guy, like let's all play our role here. Let's do this. Let's make this successful. Um, some people were reluctant, and others just weren't bringing anything to the table, and some did, and that was fun. I listen, one thing about me is I'm always gonna give you a good show. So, we'll see. I hope one day it comes to fruition and sees the light of day, but we'll see. But I was also blonde at the time. Like, I don't know, I feel like so many things have changed. I've changed so much since then. Um, 2024 was a transformative year. Icy Duck says, the best cast ever for Jersey was with Rosie. I mean, Rosie was fun, but I don't think she was the best cast. Brittany says, why did Bravo stop producing these shows? Because of Caroline? Yeah, because Ultimate Girls Trip had to be put on pause because of that debacle and that drama. So, not paid by anyone says, I would be okay with Rhony if the beef about the things that happen in front of the camera was not behind the scenes. Samantha says, wait, I like New York. Aaron and Bryn are great, but I know I'm in the minority. I like Aaron. I'm okay with Bryn. I liked Sai. I'm kind of annoyed with her this season. So yeah. We'll see. Zach, you give it to us good. I mean, I just am who I am, you know? Oof. I mean, we've had some good, like bouts, some good content this year. I mean, the Disaster Daters episode with me and Jeff, that was real and raw and woof. And then we had last Friday's live stream. So I know there have been a lot of listen, one thing I know how to do is give them not give them Lala, but give them Zach. Why did Caroline even go on this trip? That's what a lot of people are wondering, Sue. Like, why even bother? End up says, I don't mind Rhony, but I don't champion anyone in particular. That's the thing. You don't have strong feelings about it, which to me tells me it's a flop. Like, you should go into the show and be like, I feel this. I love this person. I hate this person, you know? So, yeah. All right. That's all I got for you. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I have to go tape the pop report right now. Zach bringing the drama. Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am. All right. Thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back here tomorrow, Wednesday, for all the good tea. I'm going to give it to you good, good. Good, 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 good. Mm, 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 mm. Endub says, I like the overall show. I don't need a winning pony. Then it's just fine. Ah, all right. Thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Talk to you later. Give me a follow, Just Plain Zach. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zach. Check out the Pop Report and catch up on seasons 1 and 2 of Disaster Daters, which are out now. So let's get it. We need some more reality men. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.